Oh man, I've always loved car racing since I was a little kid, and just felt this affinity to it that I couldn't really put into words. And I've always been a very visual person. Like, I loved looking through books and magazines, but I wasn't really reading the words in them. I was just looking at the pictures. And when I was in college, I was given a pretty basic entry-level DSLR, and just completely fell in love with being able to document my world and document the sporting events that I was going to as an athlete, but also just sharing the stories and things that I saw with my own eyes. And somewhere along the lines, I wanted to try and put those two things together, my passion for racing and my passion for cars and race cars particularly, into, how can I document this, and how can I like go to races and basically share my passion for racing with other people. And it just somehow ended up morphing into the career I have today that I'm just really thankful to have. I was at a wedding in my hometown of Charlotte, and a friend of mine invited me to it, but didn't give me a +1 to bring my ex-girlfriend at the time. And so I went, and he decided to put me at the reception table with another friend of his. And he's like, I'm going to do you a favor. I know you didn't get a +1, but I want you to sit next to my buddy who's, he works for Ducati motorcycles, and you guys can hit it off and talk cars and bikes and racing and all that. And so we sat down together, and he was like, oh, I guess you're the guy I'm supposed to talk to all night. And we ended up just having like a great conversation. And, his wife at the time was off dancing and having fun. And we're just talking car racing and bike racing and MotoGP and F1 and a little bit of everything in between. And he asked me, like, well, do you want to, I know you're a photographer, do you want to come cover the Pikes Peak hill climb for me in 2012? This was 2012. And I was just absolutely floored that he would even ask, but also having not really seen my work, that I hadn't sent him anything. I don't know if he'd seen it at all, but he asked me if I wanted to shoot Pikes Peak for Ducati, and that being at that wedding reception and sitting next to him probably changed my career for, put it on the path, because that was my first big client, big break in racing, because I'd done a lot of racing, but never at that level for a manufacturer of any kind, but at one of the premier, races in the world.